Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Mussetta Lee Storm, and today our video is to celebrate Lughnasadh, or what is also known as Lammas or Loaf, or in my tradition it's first harvest. Usually celebrated on August 1st, or in the southern hemisphere it's on February 1st. Today the recipe we'll be making to celebrate first harvest will be a apple bread that is egg free. So continue watching and I will get into that recipe for you. Okay, before we get started on this recipe, we're going to need two different bowls. We're going to need a larger bowl that is going to be mostly the dry ingredients, and then we're going to need a slightly smaller bowl that is going to be mostly the wet ingredients that we're going to mix together. Remember, I always keep the recipe down in the description box so you can always follow along with me in case you miss anything throughout the video. Okay, for this apple bread recipe, you're going to want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 177 degrees Celsius. You're going to want to prepare 2 loaf pans. I have 9 by 5 inch loaf pans. You're going to want to grease those for preparation. And we're going to go ahead and get started on the rest of the recipe to start with the ingredients. Okay, so we're going to start off by mixing our dry ingredients together first, and then we're going to mix our wet ingredients in a separate bowl and then add them to the dry ingredients. So to start off the dry ingredients, you're going to need 3 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 cup chopped walnuts, the last ingredient that we're adding to the large bowl at this point is 3 cups of peeled, cored, and chopped up apples. Since this is our last ingredient into the large bowl, we will be starting on the mostly wet ingredients next. Now before we get started mixing the mostly wet ingredients together, we're going to go ahead and just mix this together real quick and then get on to that wet ingredients. So to start off the second bowl of ingredients, we're going to start with 1 cup of vegetable oil, 2 cups of sugar, 3/4 cup applesauce, and the last ingredient is 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Now we're going to whisk this together. All right, now that we have that all whisked together, we're going to add it to our dry ingredients. So I'm going to create just a little well here as best as I can. The spatula will cooperate. And then we're going to just pour this in here. Alright, so we're just going to mix this all together until it's nice and moist, and then we're going to pour this into our two prepared loaf pans. And I'll show you when we get there. Okay, so now that we have everything nice and moist and mixed together, we're just going to take a scoop at a time into each pan so we can get it as even as possible, because I'm not pulling out my scale right now. If you got a scale and you want to use it to make sure they're even, feel free. But my scale is not big enough to hold both these pans, so I'm not doing it. So you'll see that the mixture, while moist, it is very stiff, and you'll have to press it down into the pans to make sure you get it in even distribution if you're not using a scale. Okay, so now that we have the batter spread between the two pans as evenly as possible, I'm going to stick these into my preheated oven. And if you've forgotten or haven't looked down below, it's once again, it's 350 degrees Fahrenheit and 177 degrees Celsius. And these are going to cook for about 90 minutes or until you can insert a toothpick or a knife into the center and it pulls out clean. Okay, so here are our 2 loaves of apple bread. After about an hour and a half in the oven, I poked them here on both of them to make sure that they were done, and they did come out clean. I'm going to let them sit here for a few minutes, probably about 10 minutes before taking them out of the pan to cool the rest of the way. I am going to slice one slightly warm, so that way I can have some melty butter on there, and I will show you all that when we get there. So here's a slice of our apple bread. I hope you have a good Lughnasadh, and I will see you in our next video. Remember to like and subscribe. Bye!